Okay, so on this one you just had to long divide it in. Go quick. X squared, 2x to the third, 2x, 2x to the third plus 25x. Anyone do that, or you write it over there?
Yeah.
It's very convenient. Subtract. That's 0, so you got 3x squared plus 25x plus 75. You should get 0 here, right? That's
25 times 2 is 50. Not 25.
It is. It is 50. Yep, good call. So that's 0. So now we have that. I was wondering how that was going to come out to no remainder. Now it makes sense. 3x squared plus 75, boom, 0. So we got 2x plus 3, so what's our other 0?
It's
negative
3 halves.
1.5.
Negative 3 halves, yeah. That's the other fact, right? When you do the long division, we figured out those are our two factors. That's why we divided that. So that would be our final factor, because this times this gives us this, right? Hence the division. When you divide, that's what happens. So that's our final factor, so we just subtract 3 divided by 2, and there's our last root or x-intercept, negative 3 halves.
So the 0 is negative 3 halves, 5i, and negative 5i.
Yep, negative 3 halves, 5i, and negative 5i. And then 52.
I get so stuck on these. I tried it both.
Which part?
The very, very
Figuring out what you need to divide by?
Yeah, I tried both ways and I couldn't.
Can you screw it up?
And it tells you your I is 5 plus 2, or your 0 is 5 plus 2i.
5 minus 2.
So that tells you, yeah, your other one is 5 minus 2i. Would you like a more in-depth explanation of how to?
Yes.
There's two ways to do this. One way, we said, was to make them factors, right? So we could go, we'll go factor way. So that we
Which
do.
one's easier?
They're both easy. You just got to know one of them. You can do x plus this and x minus this. This one might be kind of tricky because you have to remember, if I go, or x plus x, that was wrong, what I just said. It just erase everything I just
I don't
said.
think anyone would
No one knew what I said anyway, it's okay. When you do the factor thing, you go x minus whatever the 0 is, right? Know what I'm saying? That's very important. It's not x plus x minus, that's stupid, I don't know why I said that. It's x minus. So like if your zeros were 3 and negative 7, your factors would be x minus 3 and x minus negative 7. Right? Know what I'm saying? Clear on that?
So you flip this on.
Yeah, well, you just subtract. X minus whatever the 0 is. That's your factor. That's important. If you know that, you're good. So then when you come down here, you just go x minus this, and those are your factors. So we're going to go x minus, well, if I do x minus 5 plus 2i, what do I get? I'll show my work. Sorry. X minus 5 plus 2i. And the other one will be x minus 5 minus 2i. You see it? I think this way is actually harder. It's longer.
like what's on it.
I think that was longer,
Because then you have to distribute the negatives. So you got x minus 5 minus 2i, and you have x minus 5 plus 2i. And then you have to do distributive property. Like, right? You know what I'm saying? Alright, it's good fun here. X squared minus 5x plus 2xi minus 5x plus 25 minus 10i, then minus 2xi. Yeah, this place sucks. plus 10i minus 4i squared.
Yes.
There it is.
That's way too much.
Combine them all. Yes. Want to scrap it? Anyone like that?
No.
Okay. The other way. You like it?
Because that's
Oh.
where we mess up. Like,
Okay. The other way is just go, okay, here are my zeros. So x equals 5 plus or minus 2i. Right? It'll always be, whenever you do this, you'll always have complex numbers and you'll always have a plus or minus, right? Because we said the i's, the only time you're going to do this is if you have i's. And when you have i's, when you have complex numbers, they're always going to be conjugate pairs. So you're always going to have something plus or minus something i. So you just say x equals that. Subtract the real part, or add if it's negative. You know, if there's a negative 5, you'd add. So go minus 5. So you got x minus 5 equals plus or minus 2i. And square both sides. What that does is it gets rid of the I. So if I square both sides, squared, squared, x minus 5 squared, you can do that in your head now, right? Yeah, x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 4. 2 squared is 4. I squared is I squared. So that's really negative 4. Add the 4 over. So you got x squared minus 10x plus 29. And if we would have combined like terms there, we would have gotten that. The xi's would all cancel. The i's would all cancel. You'd have negative 5, negative 5, negative 10, 25, and 4.
and then you factor that.
That's just, no, you don't need to.
That's what you divide by.
That's what you divide by. I mean, your factors, you know it's this. You don't need to write it. You just wanted to get what to divide by so that you can break that down to get your last root. So again, set it equal to those. 5 plus or minus 2i. Get the real part over with the x. Square both sides. That's it. Now, of course, you got to do your long division. Which is always fun. Is that 87? I can't even read mine right. X raised to the third minus 10 squared x minus 0. So negative 7 plus 10 is 3. Negative x minus 29 is negative 30. Plus 87. I mean, you should get 0 as your remainder. If you don't get 0 as your remainder, what should you do? No, cry. No, that's not correct. What? Go back here because something's wrong. Well, I guess something could be wrong in your long division. I'm assuming you're perfect long division experts at this point.
So we just flip like whatever x is.
Oh, this is the other factor. So x plus 3 equals 0.
Oh, okay.
I just did that part. Yes.
So like really we don't even have to take the long division. Maybe it's on here.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about yesterday when I said they could kind of just include it.
I'm still gonna take it, just in case.
Yeah.
So now that I got your attention with that quiz tomorrow, now maybe you'll actually try 55. I feel like I have a quiz to pass back to you.
I'm taking one.
Oh, I gave them back yesterday, right?
Yeah. 267.
that square root of 2, hurry. Scare you. Try it. Gotta pause this thing. It did take a long time.
If we,
That's
if you give
that
tomorrow,
concerns
is it
me.
gonna? We just
Negative.
wanna make sure you know.
There, x equals negative 3 plus or minus square root of 2i, add 3, square both sides. So that's x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals square root of 2 squared is 2i squared, so it's negative 2, add 2. Divide by that. X squared. Subtract. Everyone had this, right? This is a waste of time.
Yes, you gave it to him.
Yep. Factor. Remember, that's your final factor. So then you got to factor that further. So it's x minus 2 times x minus 1. So your final two, your answers are x equals 2 and x equals 1. So there's your four answers. 1, 2, negative 3, blah, blah, blah. Those.
So when you give us like the 1, 0, are you gonna mark us wrong if we don't write out the other one? Like we know it's there, but if we don't write it
You're
out.
gonna have to use it to get your answer.
Yeah, you're going to have to use it. It will be written on your paper. So.
But like if we don't circle it, you're gonna still use it.
No, God, just do it. We'll forget it. It's not a big deal. Okay. Now let's look at. So, the problems like this, where I give you one of the zeros and it's a complex number, the calculator will not help you with that. The ones it will help you with are like number, I don't know, 20, 26. Still in the same section, 2.6. It says h of x equals x to the fourth plus 6x to the third plus 10x squared plus 6x plus 9.
Are you going to show us how to just get that in the calculator?
Yeah, you're not given any. What they want you to do in this section is do the thing where, oh, you do the factors of that divided by the factors of that. Remember what I said? Yeah, and then sit there and guess and check and do synthetic division 60,000 times. Nope. You guys know how to graph on these things? Have you?
Nope.
Describe your experience. Give me a 1 if you have no idea how to run these. A 2 if you're like, oh, kind of, I think I've graphed a few things. A 3 like, yeah, I can draw a graph, but I don't know how to find anything. And a 4, it's like, I'm a beast, I can come teach everyone how to do this. Okay, so no one's really run these before.
I remember at one point, and
Rolls
we
of
used
5.
to do these, right?
You know how to graph and everything?
Yes.
Find zeros,
Yeah,
find points of intersection, x-intercept, y-intercept, all that.
pretty much.
Cool. Good to know, so that when you take your quiz, then you know you have it.
It did.
Alright. So to graph something, that's what we're going to do
You
here.
wanna turn off that light?
This light.
We don't get that glare.
To graph something. Up here, you got, these are the graphing buttons up here at the top. We'll just start with basic. Let's graph this function. So you're going to push y equals when it brings up this screen. You could graph a whole bunch of different things here. We're just going to go y1. If any of these up here are highlighted, go up and hit enter, and it'll unhighlight. Unhighlight, is that a word? So you go up, hit enter, and it takes it off. You don't want those highlighted. That's for something else. We're not using that right now. So to graph this, you just type in what it says. We're going to go x to the fourth.
Where's the X even at?
X is right here, next to the green button. It says x, t, theta, n.
Okay.
That's your x button. Do not push alpha,
X.
STO. Do not use that x. That is not the same thing. Those letters, there's numbers stored for them, and it'll mess everything up. So, your x is right here. X to the 4th power. You should know that, right? Yeah, a little right below clear. X to the 4th plus 6 x to the 3rd plus.
You're going too fast.
The calculator knows order of operations on this, so you don't have to put it in parentheses. YouTube subscribers, that was Shania.
Okay, famous pepper one day.
Everyone got that plugged in?
Wait, hold up.
Just type it in as it reads. I bet you can guess what button you're going to push next.
Enter.
No.
Graph.
Graph. And we will all get something different. Oh, mine's already set up.
Because our things are different.
Because your windows are different, yeah.
What the frick? Mine has a bunch of circles.
Yep.
Mine's got a.
Mine looks like
mine.
yours.
So to get to just this standard, the standard window, you know what I mean by window? It's like the picture you're looking at. This one goes from -10 to 10, -10 to 10 on x and y axes.
I think mine's
Push, don't push window. Just to get to the standard one, you can push zoom, and it gives you a whole bunch of options. You'll never use number 1. You might use zoom in or zoom out. Probably not. There's better ways of doing it. But if you go down to 6, Z standard, so hit zoom 6, or go down to 6 and push enter, and it'll give you the standard window like this.
Mine's already like that.
If it was already like that, that's fine.
Mine still has circles. Mine's boxes.
If it doesn't look like that, you probably
Mine
type
has-
something
There are
in.
kind of boxes can, oh, yours is not mine.
You didn't listen.
I don't know what you said.
Go up to that plot 1, hit enter to deselect it.
Yeah, it's up now.
Go up to plot 1 and hit enter so that it's not highlighted. Now go back down. Now push zoom. And push 6.
Honestly, these things are really hard to work.
And you're still wrong. So you didn't type it in right. X to the 4th plus 6x to the 3rd plus 10x. This is x squared.
Yeah, I honestly will probably be wrong to try to put it in right.
Do you think it classifies?
So this, when you do this, when you don't have zeros?
Yeah, because now, do you see any zeros?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see a 0? Are we sure it's -3?
No.
No.
We could tell though. See above graph how it says table?
Yes.
If you push second and go to that table, we'll all have something different.
Why would we all have something?
Because the numbers, you could change them. So let's say you hit that and then your table looked like, you hit it and your table's like this, all crazy. Because some of you might have a crazy, weird table.
Mine says
What if
9.
mine doesn't have numbers?
Yeah, exactly. So what you're going to do, see above window how it says TBL set? That's table set, setup. So you're going to go to table setup. Hit second, then that one. Table start is where do you want your table to start?
0.
Probably 0. Or you can put -3, isn't that the one we think it is? What do you think that means?
How much you go
What's a
to-
triangle mean? Change. It's the change in the table. So what do you want the x's to go by? Do you want them to go by 1s, 0.5? Let's just go by 1s. Go back to the table. Woo-wee, look at that.
How do you go back to the table?
Second table. What does this tell us right here?
That there's 0, -3.
-3, 0.
Yeah.
That's an x-intercept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right on.
My name is
Okay. Do you remember what it means if the graph bounces off the x-axis like that?
Yeah, that means it's double.
It's double. They won't remember that, but that's okay. Put one on the list. So that means
Wait, what? Double?
that -3,
Yes.
if you were able to factor this, you get -3 twice
Oh.
as an x-intercept. So what that means is you now have 2 of your x-intercepts. -3 and -3 again. So what are you going to do with that?
Multiply them to each other.
Oh no, that's way too much work.
You're going to
You could
Just
go,
do what you usually
you could go x plus 3 times x plus 3, x squared plus 6x plus 9, do long division. You
No,
could,
do synthetic.
yeah, just do synthetic twice. Go negative 3,
Why?
Yeah.
that's what you told them.
1, 6, 10, 6, 9. So 1, negative 3, 3, 9, 1, negative 3, 3,
I never thought of just
0.
And then do it.
And actually, you could stop. If you did only do it once, you'd have x to the third plus 3x squared plus x plus 3. You could actually factor that by grouping.
I thought you added these ones.
So you would be all right. But if you don't want to do grouping, you could go another step. You thought what? Synthetic?
Why
Yeah,
did you do it twice?
you add. I did.
Negative 3 times 3 is.
I just got lucky. Happens once in a while.
Hey, why did you do it
Sometimes
twice?
it's better to be lucky than good. What?
Why did you do it twice?
Because it bounces off, so we
No,
know
I
it's
know that.
repeated.
Why did you do synthetic division?
You don't. You could stop right there and do grouping. Or if you just do it again, it's going to break it down further for you. Because
Do it
negative
again
3 is
into the other
repeated.
one?
Huh?
Do it against the next one?
Yeah. So take that one and do it.
I was like, if you didn't get it,
1, negative 3, 0, negative 3. Oh, no, that's 0. Gosh, I don't know how to do this. 1, negative 3, 0.
So you have x squared
So yeah, this one was x to the 4th.
plus 1.
So that's x to the 3rd. So this is x squared plus 0x plus 1. No remainder.
So that's.
So that, we've divided those out. So there, we got those two.
You could have factored the other one though, right?
We could have on this one. That won't always happen. Sometimes that won't be factorable. So what do we do with that?
You. You have to add 0. Equal it to 0. Set it equal to 0.
Subtract 1. X squared equals negative 1. Here's a big hint here.
So where was
Do you see this thing hit the x-axis anywhere else?
No.
So what does that think you mean about,
Bounces off this.
what do you think that means about the other two roots?
It's an I.
They're going to be imaginary.
Square root of negative 1 is I.
Yeah, square root. So x will equal
No.
plus or minus I.
No.
Square root of negative 1 is I. So there are your 4 answers. You only have to write negative 3 once. You don't have to write it twice. So it's really only 3 answers.
So if we get the square root of negative 1, you're expecting us to put I.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be like one out on the test?
Where you have to use the calculator?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you're ready for calculator use. Probably not. Probably just stay away from it. When we do the test, we'll do the calculator part tomorrow. So you should try like 25 right now, real quick.
Did you write down?
Just making sure this is the one I want. Oh, it's very similar to the one we just did. That's okay. Looks that should be y equals.
Are you giving us 0? We're gonna find.
Huh?
We're gonna find 0.
Yeah, that's all you're given. You're just given that. Use the calculator to find whatever you can find, and then do either synthetic or long division to get the rest.
Are you trying to mess with us by putting the alphabets on the other side?
No, I just forgot to write it, so I wrote it on the other card. So there you go. Try that out. We'll go over this one tomorrow. Yeah, you can do this tomorrow on the quiz. We'll throw a calculator one on there.